if I told you that your intellect was under the threat of subversion every single day? That your wisdom is being overtaken and overrun by an evil gang of clanging and banging criminals who have one goal in mind: to overturn your decision-making process. And they want to lead it in the direction of their agenda, which is a prioritization of overindulgence, living in excess, luxury, and all sorts of things that sort of sound like lusciously awesome in the worst possible way. Because what they will do is lead you steadfastly in the direction of imminent danger and disease. Okay, so now that you're terrified, I'll show you my really amazing drawings. There's the evil gang, there's your brain under duress. But what if I told you that I could save you? That I had the way that you could possibly harvest this one simple tool that will leave your enemy in the dust? You'd be like, yeah, give me that. I'll take that. Yes, please. Thank you. Well, I have good news and I have bad news. Your mind has been taken over by this evil, clanging, banging, yelling gang of distractions and attractions and seductions. But the good news is that I have the tool, and I'm going to give it to you. Just be patient. But first, before I do, let's fully expose our enemy territory. For it is said that if you know your enemies and you know yourself, you cannot be imperiled in 100 battles. So the good news is that Ayurveda has both your salvation and your enemy within its lenses, and it can teach you the way to deal with both. Most of you are probably like, what is Ayurveda? Did she just make that word up? I swear I didn't. Ayurveda it's sort of magical. It's a 5,000 plus year old traditional medical study. It was founded in India, probably by a bunch of people meditating in caves who did a lot of experimentation. It's a 5-elemental approach, much like traditional Chinese medicine, where we treat things with an intuitive voice, with nature, in balance with the circadian rhythms that we live day in and day out. So the best thing that I can tell you that may one day put me out of business, unfortunately, is that you already have all of the answers. You already know all of this stuff. It's ingrained in your DNA. The blueprints are in every single cell of your body. But you don't listen to it. You don't listen to it. Society teaches us to deny this voice. It teaches us to follow in a line with this evil, clanging, banging, yelling gang of attractions, distractions, and seductions, and to mute that intuition. Here's an example. And we're all very accessed to the internet. We can reach out and research anything, right? So let's say you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired, day in and day out. And after a while, you start to kind of feel bad all of the time. You're living in dis-ease. You're living in discomfort, right? Your intuition may have the answer. You know the answer to this problem. It's simple. It's obvious. But instead, what do? We kind of like truck over to the Mac, start Googling medical websites. Maybe finally we find a blog post that suggests that a person only needs 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night to be healthy, okay? So instead of listening to our voice inside that might be screaming something differently, we listen to this attraction, distraction, or seduction, and we put that in our pocket in place of it. When the answer is simply, let's just change our lifestyle so that we can sleep more and be rested and be happy and healthy, because maybe I need 8 hours of sleep a night, or 9 or 10, and maybe you need 4. So we have these intuitions. So let's see. Ayurveda's main principle here is that we treat vitiations with opposites. Does that sound complicated? It's totally not. Any kind of imbalance we treat with an opposite quality. So you do this every single day of your life. If you walk outside and you're freezing cold, you put on a jacket. Okay? If you come back inside and you're hot, you take off your jacket. If your skin is dry and itchy, you apply oil or moisturizer. If your eyes are dry and itchy, you apply a cold compress. If your mouth is dry, you take a sip of water, etc., etc. So easy. Totally innate, natural things that we do. So that's Ayurveda. And that's the very simple kind of tip of the iceberg idea of it. And now let's take that into Mother Nature. Mother Nature also has all of the answers. Mother Nature is Ayurvedic. So in the long dog days of summer in New England, the bounty of food that we're offered is very sweet. It's very high in carbohydrates, like all of the fruits and the yummy things. That keeps us going. It's fast-burning energy to get us through the long dog days of summer. And then winter rolls around, where it's cold and dry and hard, especially here in New England. And what do we start to feast on? The harvested root vegetables, or maybe the grains that we've stored from the summer or winter before, or fall before. Okay? The heavier meats and cheeses, things that are nutritive, that are building, that are grounding, that are the opposite qualities of the season at hand that will nourish us and build us and insulate us for the winter. And then spring pops up with its detoxifying low-fat diet of berries and sprouts. Perfect. It's the answer to the acidic diet that we had to live all winter in order to be in balance with nature. So you see, all of this stuff is in our DNA, and we are just simply the microcosm of the macrocosm. Culture and technology have clearly changed over the last 5,000 years. So 5,000 years ago when Ayurveda was discovered, we didn't have PubMed and peer-reviewed medical articles. We didn't have experimentation. We didn't have biochemistry or organic chemistry or molecular biology or test tubes or any way to extract and extrapolate vitamins and minerals and test them on subjects. We had to rely on intuition. Your average Ayurvedic practitioner or herbalist may have been given one herb ever and taught by his teacher to treat everything with that one herb, maybe for 10 years before they moved on to another herb. So this is a very long, slow, steady process, but it still works today. Technology is miraculous, and thank God for technology. Thank God for it. Thank God for modern medicine. And Ayurveda works in tandem in modern medicine. I just want to give you that caveat. But it does offer a threat to subvert our intellect and to mute our inner voice, and to make us listen to that clanging, banging, screaming, dancing, seducing gang that has taken over our brain of attractions, distractions, and seductions. We make about 35,000 decisions per day as people. Aren't you exhausted just thinking about that? It's crazy. 226.7 of those decisions are related on what we eat alone. That's overwhelming. Now, I love food as much as the next person, but imagine that, 226.7 decisions about food every single day. This leads to something we would call decision fatigue, where we have sort of a finite amount of energy that harbors self-control and willpower for us to make decisions with. And when we run out of that, well, all heck breaks loose. All we can hear is the clanging, banging, screaming, yelling, dancing gang of attractions, distractions, and seductions. Take, for example, how exhausting going to the store and buying an apple could be. Think about, first of all, how many stores are within a 5, 10, 15-minute radius of your house? Okay, a lot. And then you get to the store, and it's like, what kind of apple do I buy? There's Gala apples, Fuji apples, Granny Smith apples, I have no idea. Imported, local, organic, non-organic, and let's not even talk about cost. It's exhausting and overwhelming just thinking about it. And each decision we make takes a little tiny bit of energy. And as our energy slowly wears down, we reveal our vulnerability to the enemy. And they can see us. They see what we want. They see our deepest desires that we might know better about, and they act on it. For example, who's gone out to dinner, and you're like so super duper full, and then the waiter floats in like an angel and hands you the dessert menu. And before you know it, you're head first in a mountain of chocolate cake dripping with ice cream that leads you just right down a road into an evening of lethargy, a tummy ache. Maybe it parlays into a morning of constipation. We talk a lot about poop in Ayurveda. I'll just put that out there. And then this can become a vicious cycle, because say you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, that chocolate cake, what a bad idea. And you start eating a heavy breakfast on top of that. Well, we're just adding to the problem. We're just creating more and more of an issue in the body. Okay, so that kind of distraction becomes a cause and effect. In Ayurveda, we call this idea of having the cake when we know we shouldn't have the cake prajna pradha, which essentially translates to crimes against your wisdom, the misuse of your intellect. It causes imbalance and it causes disease. It's knowing the difference between right and wrong and choosing wrong anyway. I know you can all relate. I certainly can relate. You know, it makes us listen to that gang. So in Ayurveda, we define health as samadosha, samagnischa, samadhatu malakriyaha, prasyan atmyendriya mana, swasta ityabhyate. You know, obviously, right? So that translates to the person with balanced doshas or physiological energies and qualities, the person with balanced tissues, who's eliminating their waste properly, and who is also sound and stable in their mind, is the person who is healthy. So there are other examples of that misuse of your intellect, that crime against your wisdom, that can throw this equation all off balance. For example, athletes in class. And I'm an endurance athlete myself, and I can speak to this and relate to this, and I've done this a million times. So you wake up and you have a swollen knee, but you totally have your heart set on that 5-mile run or whatever it is that you're doing that day. You're like, oh, it's fine, I'm gonna go. You go, and you come back, and you've exponentially injured your knee. You may find yourself laid up for months. Or you wake up in the morning going to work or going to school, and you know you just like really don't feel like yourself, but you have a big test or a big project to do. And so you go in anyway, and you end up getting the flu and being out of work for a week or two. This is misuse of the intellect. And isn't hindsight 20/20? Had we just not gone on our run that day and taken 3 days off, we wouldn't be laid up rehabbing an injury for maybe weeks on end, or missing an entire week of work because we got the flu. So this chronic disease is not only the effect of crimes against our wisdom, of being seduced by this evil clanging, banging gang of attractions, distractions, and seductions, but it also slowly becomes the cause. So we get muted, we get tired, our energy reserves get zapped with chronic disease, and we no longer have the proper ability to make good decisions. We start misusing our intelligence. But don't worry, because there is hope. See, it says it on the screen. There is always hope. See, remember I told you in the beginning that I'd be able to save you, and I'm not going to hold that to myself. I'm going to share it with you. So essentially, awareness is the evil gang's kryptonite. It is the one tool that we can use against this gang. It's going to save us from letting our ideas be hijacked, our intuition. It's going to let us listen to our inner voice again and know what is true, to begin to intuit the answer like we were born to do, like we always knew we could do, and we will be able to do. But the second I told you that the way you had to harvest awareness was through meditation, you'd all be like, no, I don't meditate, I'm very busy, I haven't changed my oil in 8,000 miles. When am I going to have time to meditate? Well, let's just drop that term, okay? We're going to call it awareness harvesting instead of meditation. And it is so beyond easy that I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Open your mouth and just kind of let it go. That was really good. Now keep your eyes closed, sit up nice and straight in your chair, and begin to deepen your breath a little bit more. So you're really getting it down into your belly, letting your belly be soft, stimulating the lower lobes of your lungs, so you're filling yourself with air. And this entire awareness harvesting consists of maybe 10 breaths and 2 questions. So as you continue to breathe in and breathe out slowly and deeply, I want you to ask yourself this. How do I feel? What do I need? Relax the jaw, relax the space between your 2 eyes, and continue to deepen the breath, full deep breaths in and out. And again, how do I feel? What do I need? Breathing even deeper down into your belly. Relaxing your jaw again. And just one more time. How do I feel? What do I need? Take another full inhale. Slowly let it go. And now allow the answers to just sort of slowly come in, seep in. And they may not have words, and that's okay. They may just be an energy. And as you slowly take your next exhale breath, open your eyes. So how much more aware do you already feel? How much more peaceful and seated and ready do you already feel? What if we did that? What if we did that every day before moving forward into our day or before moving forward into some sort of hard project or situation? Wouldn't your life be a little bit different? It would be. Awareness will save your life. All of these things in your body that you may have just noticed, maybe it's that you're hungry. Okay, maybe you noticed, hey, I feel a little bit sad today, or my hips are tight, or I'm giggly, or my jaw is tight. All of these things may have gone unnoticed had we not just taken a moment and harvested a little bit of awareness. And then we may have acted upon them in ways that were not good for you. All right. So like I said, awareness. It's free. It never expires. It's weightless. In fact, it's so unencumbering that from time to time, you might even forget that you have it with you. But you do. It is always there. And you are the only one that can operate it. Awareness is the one simple tool that you can use to protect yourself from crimes against your wisdom. Awareness can literally save your life. And so I'll end with a little public service announcement. Ayurveda, protecting your brain from crimes against wisdom since 3000 BC, approximately. Namaste.